What is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. Um, Today is a follow-up to my last RWBY video that I just did a couple days ago. Now that was kind of just discussing what the future would be about about not Visme, a future of what the RWBY franchise, of what I thought might happen, or just coming up with a couple different theories and just generic, ideas and stuff like that. Not really getting into like the nitty gritties of what would happen or what I thought or realistic thoughts and other things. Now, like I said, realistically, they're going to do a volume 10. They're going to continue where they picked up because it just makes the most sense, which I already said pretty much in the last video. Now, again, my opinion is based on the narrative, the show, and the writing. It's not about, other things like ships and stuff like that. I don't care about that. I care about the fights. I care about the story. If you've been on my channel, I watch a lot of the fighting animes, a lot of fighting shows. That's kind of my thing. Action, basically. I'm an action genre guy. So that's kind of where I'm at. Okay, so like I said in the last video, I think, and I did since see that what was it? Someone had linked me that the video that Carrie, I think the showrunner, right? I think he's still the showrunner, right? He made like a 28-second video, I guess, like a couple of months ago that I didn't see. I actually forgot that the RWBY YouTube channel was back up again, because I know obviously a lot of things were taken down once Rooster Teeth sold it to or Rooster Teeth filed for bankruptcy, and then obviously we all know the whole story and the schmoz about that whole controversy. But I'd completely forgotten that the RWBY YouTube channel had gone back up. So that's cool that it's back up. So Carrie said that they were. It was a quick video. I mean, you could have just put it on a short or on Instagram, I guess. I mean, how short it was, but it was basically along the lines is that they are in the writing / coming up with ideas phase. Like, they haven't really done anything. They're just coming up with ideas really for it. So that means obviously nothing has been animated, nothing has been storyboard or anything like that. Nothing really has happened other than people are coming up with ideas and different things of what they can do for season 10. Which again is what I thought would be the more realistic approach. I do think, I still am on record that I would like to see them do a soft reboot from season 3 onward. Monty Ohm's legacy, obviously, are those first 3 seasons, so I feel like those seasons would have to stay canon and should stay canon, no matter what. And they are the best. I mean, let's face it, they are the best. They are 100% the best volumes in the entire series. Period. That's a fact. Okay, at this point, like I can't. The other ones just no. But anyways, there's so many different directions they can go with. So here's the problem. As we all know, Rooster Teeth as a brand was a dead brand walking when Volume 9 came out and when Volume 9 was being developed. Okay, that's why there was only 10 episodes. I think normally the RWBY episode count per season used to be like 13 episodes on average. That was what they used to do. And then it became 10 because we know the problems that Rooster Teeth was going through. Obviously, there was different things going on at the time. And there were different, there were different issues going on, okay, behind the scenes. Like there were bad people on Rooster Teeth's staff or whatever. There was a guy who was like the CEO of merchandising, I think it was, or something, that did some bad things. He got arrested. Not going to talk about the specifics of that, but all that stuff was going on behind the scenes with the company. And again, this does not reflect the people that obviously worked hard on RWBY and did the best they could. Obviously they were doing the best that they could with all these terrible company practices that were going on at the time. But again, now with RWBY on Viz Media, I would like to see Viz Media do something with RWBY where if we're going to go to season 10 or volume 10, I don't know, I keep getting that screwed up. Sorry, guys. If we're going to volume 10, RWBY's the only franchise that I watch that does volume. So, still to this day, and get that goofed up. So, volume 10, if they're doing volume 10, they gotta do it like really, really good. Like the writing's gotta be better. Like, especially 9, you can almost forgive them on that one because 9, Rooster Teeth problems again, dead company walking. Just I don't know, just better fights. I'm still mad that Penny died. I mean, that's just a personal thing. I did not like Penny dying and getting killed off. Okay, like I didn't like Neo being left in the ever after. We reviewed all these episodes. Like they're still on my YouTube channel. We reviewed these episodes as they came out. So it's like I still am not happy with that. I'm still not happy about that. But I don't think Penny needed to die. Penny, like, straight up, like, they did all that stuff for Penny, right? They did all that stuff for Penny just to kill her. Like, just for her to die. And die. And that just totally wraps my brain around right now. That they did it. Like, they made her a regular human, right? They make her a regular human. They make her the maiden, which I didn't think they needed to do that, but they did. They made her the maiden, and then at the end of the season, end of the volume, she dies. And then, of course, Winter becomes the maiden, which, if you remember, if you watched my videos back then before, I had a maiden theory video that I had made years ago that I said that I thought Winter would become the maiden. Which happened, but not the way I thought it would happen. I was like, oh yeah. You were right about Winter being the maiden, but you were not right on how it was gonna happen. Yeah, I still cringe at that. I'm just like, yeah, you guys just couldn't have made her the maiden to begin with, and it would have stopped Penny from like dying. Again, I think that was the wrong approach. And again, it might have been just the whole restaurant from Rooster Teeth. I don't know. If if it was or not. But the one thing I would like to see from Viz Media approach is, here's what I want to see. Not 10 episodes, not 13 episodes. I want to see at least 20. I want to see at least 20 for one volume. And I know some people are going to be like, that's not the RWBY way. But again, the RWBY way was the Rooster Teeth way. The RWBY way under Viz Media is a completely different way than the way it would be under Rooster Teeth. Viz Media, like I said, and I said this in the last video, Viz Media has a great opportunity to really put the brand out there, which was really lacking with Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth were heavily relying on RWBY. They were relying on Death Battle, okay, because they had Death Battle for a while too. They were relying on those type of things, but RWBY obviously was just the regular show, where Death Battle is just a versus show, right? You know what I'm saying? They were relying on things to stay afloat and to justify their existence, okay? Especially once Warner Brothers bought them, okay? Viz Media doesn't have to rely on RWBY, all right? Yes, they directly own the IP now, but it's not like they're, and I even said this in the last video, it's not their, it's not their flagship thing, okay? Obviously, they do mangas. That's their main thing before they even do, license anime shows for dubs. And obviously, with this show, they directly own now. So they can really do what they want with it at this point. But there's so much broader things that Viz Media can do with RWBY, because it is not something that they're just leeching and relying on just because they know it's extremely successful, like Rooster Teeth did. That's what Rooster Teeth did, okay? Viz isn't going to do that, because Viz has other properties besides RWBY that are just as popular or even more popular than it. They got a whole catalog of licensed manga anime, not to mention all their licensed dubs that they do for anime, which again, manga licensing is their main thing that they do. So again, RWBY, while is a show that is going to be very popular and very profitable for Viz, which is why they're, putting the DVDs out there, Blu-rays out there for a re-release, and they're putting it on streaming and all the previous seasons. This is why they're doing it. They're doing it because, they're going to try to put their stamper on RWBY. And hopefully eventually you get those characters in Fortnite, like I mentioned in the last episode, or last video. But you gotta have a more broad thing for a show like this. I would argue that Rooster Teeth, even during the days where people thought the company was doing well, before Warner Brothers got involved with the show, or got involved with Rooster Teeth, I would argue that I don't think Rooster Teeth did enough. I don't think they did enough branding for RWBY at the time. And looking at it now, I think you're going to see that with Viz Media. I think Viz Media is going to take the show better than it was in terms of promoting it, in terms of licensing it out, better video games probably. I think there's going to be, especially video games that aren't going to just be like, oh, we're going to do that and then just stop supporting it like they did with Grim Eclipse, right? Grim Eclipse was a video game that had lots of promise, and they kind of just stopped doing it, which made people lose interest in the game. So I think Viz is going to be a very, very important figure to RWBY in terms of making it bigger than it already is. Like I said, I think if you're going to do season 10, right, or volume 10, you can do volume 10, you got to do at least 20 episodes. And you got to do it like an actual anime episode. I know people are going to say that this is going to take longer for them to put RWBY out or whatever. It's already been 2 years since the last volume. But honestly, I think it's better quality if you put out a full-length season rather than do 10, 13 episodes of 15 minutes. Sometimes less. I know the earlier seasons they didn't do the episodes that long. They were even shorter than that. But you got to start kind of branching it out. And Viz Media obviously has more resources than Rooster Teeth does, obviously. So these are things that are definitely going to help the brand better going forward, making RWBY more of a profitable show, which they were already profitable, but under Rooster Teeth, they weren't really making the profits that they should have been making because Rooster Teeth was basically using it to stay afloat, is what they were doing. So that is what I think needs to be done. Like I said, I'm on record. I do think they need some better writers on the team, kind of help it out a little better. That's what I kind of think. I really hope it does well. And I really hope that the rating is a little better. More action, more things and plot holes. Try to adjust the plot holes. The plot holes. I hope for the best. Like I said, if they have, well, then they could eventually if this is the final season, we don't know. If you got 20 episodes of RWBY, okay, for one season, that could be the equivalence of 2 seasons for old Rooster Teeth, right? In one season. So you get 2 seasons, 2 essential seasons, right? I mean, that could be the end of this part of the the show RWBY, and then they might move on to doing maybe spinoffs, or they do a reboot of the show, soft reboot, I would say, different universe. I don't know. That's kind of what I thought they should do. But I'll be still. When it comes out, I'm gonna be watching it, of course. I do like the show. I like the characters. I just wish, again, the plot was a little better. I'm watching the show since infamously right before that. What was it? The Yang versus Tifa death battle or whatever. When we were talking about that. Yeah, because I hadn't seen the show until then. That's when I started watching the show. But yeah, that's kind of the things right now with Viz. I just, and also another thing. What about the season 2 of the Ice Queenling or whatever it was called, that anime one that they did or whatever? That's supposed to be a different universe too. That's supposed to be a completely different universe because the stuff that happens in there don't happen in the original season. So that right there, that season, may do a second season of that too. That had some potential. Do something of that too. That would be really good if they did something of that. If they could do a second season of that or something. We can bring back RWBY Chibi. Can they bring back RWBY Chibi? RWBY Chibi. Can they bring back RWBY Chibi too? I don't. Do they even? Because I haven't seen RWBY Chibi on Viz's site. So I'm wondering if they are going to bring in Chibi, Ruby Chibi, because that was kind of a little funny type show. Yeah, a lot of different things. A lot of different things they can bring in, you know. I don't even think they are selling Ice Queendom yet on their thing. I don't know if it might be on Crunchyroll still, but I don't know if it's on anywhere else. But yeah. But yeah, it's kind of a thing here. What are the possibilities of season 10 or volume 10? Very good. I mean, they obviously are doing plans, it seems like, from videos. Obviously, the DVDs and Blu-rays of like a lot of the volumes are coming out again and re-releases, as we said in the last video. They're doing pre-plans. I mean, so if they're doing pre-plans like of ideas and stuff like that, and they're doing, trying to come up with different writings for the season itself, then it's probably gonna be another couple of years before we even like get one, because they obviously haven't animated anything yet. So yeah, that's kind of where this is at right now. Let me know what you guys think. I want to hear, by the way, actual legitimate positive opinions. I don't want to hear like, if you're just going to come on here and just talk about, this and that, just don't even bother, dude. Like, I want actual, like, legitimate arguments to why you like the show, or like the writing approach, compared to other things. I want to hear that opinion. I'm always entitled to opinions like that. Critiques are always welcomed, because that's how everybody has to, come up with, different ideas and better ideas for the future, So that's what I would like to see. I would like to see opinions. If you disagree with my opinion on the narrative or the plot or the writing, that's what I would like to hear. So comment, rate if you like my video or any other of my videos. Please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for the latest contents. Latest contents. Hit thumbs up, bell, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, guys, that's it. I am the S Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace. Also, make sure, besides my YouTube channel, to follow me on the Twitch, the Instagram, and I do have a Discord link in the description where we discuss various topics, including this one here. Now I'm out. Peace!